What if Nazi Germany won World War II? Imagine waking up one morning and the entire world map looks completely different. No United States as a superpower, no free Europe, no United Nations, just one flag, flying everywhere. Today we're diving into one of the most chilling alternate histories ever imagined. What if Nazi Germany had actually won World War II? This isn't just a thought experiment. This is a warning from history about how close the world came to total darkness. Before we talk about what could have happened, let's talk about something that will genuinely shock you. Nazi Germany almost won, like terrifyingly close. By 1942, Hitler controlled more land than any European ruler in history. From the beaches of France all the way to the freezing doorstep of Moscow. He had conquered France in just 46 days. 46 days. France had one of the strongest armies in Europe, and Hitler walked through them like they weren't even there. Britain was getting absolutely pounded from the air during the Battle of Britain. The only reason Hitler didn't invade Britain was because he made one of the dumbest military decisions in history. He switched from bombing RAF airfields, which was working, to bombing London instead. That mistake gave Britain time to recover. And in North Africa, Rommel, the Desert Fox, was tearing through Allied defenses so fast that Egypt and the Suez Canal almost fell into Nazi hands. So yes, this was very real. Now let's talk about what happens if those mistakes never happened. Let's rewind to 1940, the key moment. At Dunkirk, over 380,000 Allied soldiers were completely surrounded on a beach in France. They had nowhere to go. Hitler had them. His generals begged him, finish them off right now. But Hitler stopped his tanks. To this day, historians argue about why. Maybe he trusted the Luftwaffe to finish the job from the air. Maybe he thought Britain would negotiate peace. Whatever the reason, those soldiers escaped. In our alternate timeline, Hitler doesn't stop. Those 330,000 soldiers never make it home. Britain loses her entire professional army in one afternoon. Winston Churchill has nothing left to fight with. Britain falls, and now everything changes. With Britain gone, the United States has no launching pad to invade Europe. No D-Day, no storming the beaches of Normandy. America is isolated across an entire ocean with a Nazi-controlled Atlantic. Hitler now turns his full attention to the Soviet Union. No two-front war, no splitting resources. Every tank, every soldier, every bomb pointed directly at Stalin. Moscow falls by winter of 1941. Stalin's Soviet Union collapses. The largest country on earth is now Nazi territory. Hitler's vision, Lebensraum, living space for the German people, is now reality. Millions of Slavic people are enslaved, displaced, or worse. The Holocaust, which already murdered 6 million Jewish people in our real timeline, expands across an even larger territory. With no one left to stop it, let's be very clear here. We're not just talking about flags changing on a map. We're talking about the systematic murder of tens of millions of human beings. Historians estimate that under a full Nazi victory, the death toll could have reached 100 million people. 100 million people, but what does life actually look like for regular people living in this nightmare world? Hitler had a detailed plan called, and I'm not making this up, General Plan Ost, the general plan for the East. Under this plan, Eastern Europe gets completely resettled with German citizens. The native populations, starved out, enslaved, or eliminated. Western Europe becomes a collection of puppet states, allowed to exist but completely controlled by Berlin. You go to school and learn Nazi ideology. Your newspapers only print what the regime allows. Your neighbors disappear if they complain too loudly. In America, the pressure becomes enormous. The Nazi Atlantic Empire is blockading trade routes. Japan, still a Nazi ally, controls the entire Pacific. America is squeezed from both sides. Some American politicians, and yes, there were real Nazi sympathizers in 1930s America, push for a peace deal. America becomes an isolated, fearful nation. The land of the free slowly stops being free. Now here's the interesting part that most people never think about. Even if Nazi Germany won, most historians believe the empire would have eventually destroyed itself. Why? Because Hitler was a terrible administrator. His entire government was built on competing factions who hated each other. Generals stabbing each other in the back, ministers fighting over power. The whole system only worked because of constant war and constant expansion. Once the expansion stopped, the cracks would appear. Resistance movements would never stop. The French resistance, Soviet partisans, underground fighters across Europe, they never quit in real life, even when things looked hopeless. In a Nazi-won world, they would keep fighting, for decades if necessary. Technology would also become a problem. The United States, even isolated, was still the most industrially powerful nation on Earth. Give it 20 to 30 years, and the technological gap between free America and totalitarian Nazi Europe would become impossible to close. Empires built on hate and fear always eventually collapse. Always. So here's what this really teaches us. World War II was won by inches, by lucky mistakes that Hitler made, by soldiers who refused to give up on that beach at Dunkirk, by pilots who kept flying even when they had almost nothing left, by ordinary people who chose courage over surrender. The world you live in right now, with all its problems and all its imperfections, exists because of those decisions. Because of those people. History is never guaranteed. It's made by choices, and sometimes the most important choice is simply refusing to quit. If this gave you chills, smash that like button because this took forever to research. Subscribe for more alternate histories and real stories that will blow your mind. And comment below, what other alternate history do you want us to cover next?